Hello and welcome to Season 6 of Business Mentorship, Keeping It Real, introducing corporate leaders who have taken the leap to business owner and celebrate their great idea in our guest blog, found on shareyourstories.online. Our guest joins us from Winter Park, Florida. Leah Milan is the founder of a passion project that honors moms, alongside building a career that supports families through impactful programs and advocacy. Let's find out about the mission-focused career Leah has created that honors the family unit, empowering and creating mothers and fathers in their vital role in society. It is my pleasure to welcome and introduce everyone to Leah.
Hello, Trish. I'm happy to be here with you.
You know, this is such an exciting day because who doesn't have a mom or a dad that at one point in time has guided and influenced where we are today?
Absolutely.
Right. Now, I have to just quickly mention your the acronym that you use for your passion project. And maybe we can start by you sharing why to our viewing and listening audience, myMBA, which is My Mom's Best Advice, actually came to be.
Sure. So will I share my 3 words?
No, not till the end. No,
Okay,
we'll
perfect.
just talk. Yeah, we'll just talk
Okay.
about how did
Well,
this evolve? Because I, first of all, absolutely love the logo.
oh, I should have put it on my background too, but that's coming.
That's okay. That'll be, I'll put it on the background when we put it on the video.
Yeah. So my MBA, really, to me, I listen a lot. Like, I listen to people a lot. And I've been in many group settings where, very accomplished individuals would just say something. My mom uh, taught me this, and including my husband, who, talks about his parents a lot and what they taught him. And now he's a leader at a company where people actually write notes about what his mom said. So I started to really even, how like you have a hunch as an entrepreneur, you're following usually like looking at opportunities and you're following your heart, and what you're hearing. So then I started to talk a little with parents, with people a lot more. And then you watch the Oscars and Grammys, and who do you see on stage are, winners who always say, I want to thank my mom. And so that started this whole thing about me just gathering the stories, recording them, and turning them into it's a website that has stories of successful professionals, an everyday professional who has a story to say share about their moms. And we also started doing that so that's the beginning of myMBA, My Mom's Best Advice.
Okay.
And then there are also others who shared about their fathers. So we also have dadosophies for that, which we're building.
Oh, well, that's really exciting because, who doesn't want at some point in time to be able to recognize the person who has been our biggest role model, right? Usually our parents are our role models for what we want to achieve in life, how we're going to, connect with our communities. So I think what you're doing is really so cool. But give our viewing and listening audience an idea as to how you came up with the logo. So we'll talk about the marketing of myMBA because, that automatically brings to mind, creates a visualization of a degree, right?
Yeah.
The MBA. And so was that an intentional, purposeful choice for you?
Absolutely. And it's really, marketing professionals like yourself can spot it immediately. So I love this. It is really based on that. My background too is marketing and public relations. So I knew that was really intentional because really, if you listen to your mom's best advice, and really ground yourself there based on the stories I've heard, that you can really be successful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you use one of those as your North Star,
Hmm.
like it could really be a guide to your success, whatever area it is, and it could be applied in many areas. And to your point, like we're in the process of documenting this and maybe turning it into a book, because why not share those stories for others?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no um, uh, manual on how to be a parent. You can
Isn't that the
borrow.
truth?
Yeah, you can
It's so
borrow from
true.
stories that's documented and it's proven to have worked.
Yeah. And
So,
you know what I love too is the sayings, that sometimes the sayings that our parents said to us, like and you have conversations with people and you'll automatically give a saying and they'll be like, "Oh my God, my mother used to say that to me," right?
yeah,
And so those things are kind of ingrained in our everyday conversation sometimes. And I'm sure you've had to, folks in your network where they say, "I woke up one morning and I looked in the mirror and I thought, oh my God, there's my mother." Or I said something and went, "Oh, geez, that sounds exactly like my mom." So I don't think we realize in the subconscious how those stories affect us as adults.
yeah, absolutely.
And have you found that with some of your guests when you've been interviewing them?
Yeah, one of the questions is like, what's the voice? I usually ask them the voice that you hear in your head that
Mm-hmm.
your mom said, it's usually there. And
Mm-hmm.
and we remember as children how we resisted it first
Mm-hmm.
until
Mm-hmm.
until we get it's powerful coaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that the
And then-
truth? That's so
Yeah.
true.
And then you embrace it. And some of the other advices come to us now, right? The
Yeah.
more we embrace, and that's part of the beauty of why I loved doing the interviews and compiling the stories. In
Yeah.
the moment that I'm in there with them, they
Mm-hmm.
start feeling the gratitude and
Mm-hmm.
really just being present. Most of the time, they want to jump after the call, they want to jump off a call and call their mothers because they
Yeah.
get really
Yeah.
present to, we don't talk about it enough.
It,
Um,
it
and when
creates an emotional connection,
it
right?
does, it does.
Yeah.
And that's the spirit of like why we want to capture it. So then we imagine capturing that in a book and what that provides for readers. So
Yeah, for sure. For future generations, right?
that's the other thing. It's like expand the legacy that your mother's contribution is by sharing it. So, well, Trish, you just awakened this desire for me to keep collecting the stories and make it a priority. Because even as we're speaking about it, it gets me present to the possibilities
Hmm.
available. No different from what you're doing, interviewing
Right.
entrepreneurs,
Right.
because
Yeah.
it inspires, it sparks an emotion. And without emotion, what are we? We're not robots. Like
No, that's true.
the emotions that we spark in people create even better outcomes, whatever they're doing. So
So tell me how all of this transitioned into High Five and Thrive,
yeah.
because that's sort of now you've been on this journey of sharing stories of moms and you've mentioned stories of some dads too, but how is it now morphed in a whole new business opportunity and venture for you? Because the other one was really a passion project, right?
Yeah. hmm From the Passion Project, I was led to have conversations with a lot of other parents. And the timing, I don't know, as an entrepreneur, you've interviewed a lot of entrepreneurs who had ideas, and timing is everything.
For sure.
So by 2024, I probably at that point have interviewed 100 individuals about their mom's best advice and maybe 20 with their dads.
Mhm.
Um, and I started to speak to other parents who you can see struggled, and not that their parents were not good examples, but their parents were under a lot of pressure.
Sure.
And so that gets passed on as well. And
Mhm.
funny enough, August, just around the time we were thinking of what can we do about that, because a lot of the resources in the U.S. go to the very underserved, but there are parents who have jobs, who have careers, raising children. There's not a lot of support for them.
Right.
And our the Surgeon General at that time of the United States, around August 2024, released an advisory about what parents are dealing with. It's called Parents Under Pressure. It's an amazing, it captures everything that I was already experiencing from many conversations. So his key findings include, so about 63 million parents in the United States. And the findings are 48% of parents report that stress is completely overwhelming on most days.
Wow, that's very high.
Yeah. And over 1 in 3 feel isolated and alone.
Wow.
And then that sparks a whole conversation about their mental health.
Sure.
And if nothing is done, well, we have parents who are dealing with their own mental health, raising children, and what that domino effect.
Spin-off, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And there are parents of young children, single parents, and low-income households that they have disproportionate burdens, right? With limited access. So at that point, I said, well, if not you, then who? And this has been a conversation in the past that was planted in me, that I said it's too big. But when you look at teams and teamwork and sharing, what sharing a mission, sharing a cause. Oh, I was so blown away by people's generosity, Trish. Like, they are willing to serve as our board, provide resources, time, partnership. Yeah.
To your point, there are so many good people that we need to tap into those good news stories, right? We need to tap into, as you say, the generosity and gratitude of people who are willing to help. I have found, to be quite honest, all you have to do is ask.
Yeah.
Right? But we're so inhibited, and we live in a society where most people equate asking with weakness, especially if it's in a business setting, right? Because if you're the solopreneur and the entrepreneur of a company, maybe you have a team, you're supposed to have all the answers. That's the misnomer, right? That you have all the answers. So we sometimes forget to ask for help. And really what you're saying is, when you take a look at the dynamics and the report that came out, it just highlighted probably all the things that you were hearing from the people you were interviewing.
100%. So it validated what I was experiencing, hearing, and then, like you said, just share with people, and then they have some idea, and then we start creating, and then all of a sudden we have a offering.
Sure.
And that started me into, all right, let's create this as a nonprofit, the 501c3. And really, it doesn't matter. It's like one family at a time. So
Sure. And making a difference with one family makes it worthwhile. It's not really, it's like we talk about social media and the exposure that we have on social media, and people sometimes get too hung up on the numbers, how many likes, how many shares, how many comments. But when you think of what we do when we're scrolling, 9 times out of 10, we don't stop to like or share, but it doesn't mean the message didn't reach a target audience.
100%, Trish. I'm glad you realized that, because if we get hung up on comments, as if that in the past, perhaps that's what validated that somebody is engaging with us, right? Or somebody actually got value from it. But we get value from all of the things, like we're in the scroll. So we get to continue sharing. It's there.
Yeah, I agree. And, I almost think that what's more important is if somebody else decides to follow you, because then that that's going to show up in their feed. And it's almost like, I don't know if you've had this experience yourself, where maybe you've been thinking about something. I do all my serious thinking on my walk in the morning. So, I'll be thinking of a topic, and then I'll go to my phone to start posting something for social, and there will be a message on the exact thing that I was thinking of that morning, right? And you think, wow, how's that possible? I wasn't even verbalizing, I wasn't talking, but here's the message. So I think that sometimes the messages appear when we need them most,
100%.
right?
See, when you think about it, Trish, it's like we're really energetically connected. And
Absolutely.
when we are out there connecting with people physically, and you can actually experience the timing of it all, no coincidences, because you're so in tune with what's out there energetically. So
Right,
that's what I'm also discovering in this path.
right.
Like I mentioned, the timing of it is also because of my readiness
To
to be
accept.
out there. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So let's just talk about that just for a little bit, because you've given our viewing and listening on it some really good tidbits so far. And, one of them is you never know where the road is or the path is going to take you, where the journey is going to be, right? But, and, the other thing that you mentioned was life doesn't come with a manual. We're all muddling through doing the best that we can on a day-to-day basis. But how do you, as the entrepreneur, find the motivation and the energy and the recharging of your own batteries in order to be of service to the community that you're building?
Really important question, because especially in the nonprofit world, right? Um, and the huge mission, like
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
want to make an impact to families, communities in our country and the world. Like
Right,
there's really no limit to who we want to reach here.
right,
When you get overwhelmed with the how do I do that? So what I do personally is I'm clear that this was a assignment to me to fulfill.
right.
It's
It's your mission.
and I connect with that spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
and I forget, because as a human being, it's easy to, well, I gotta go for profit. I was before establishing this nonprofit, I'm a for-profit.
Sure. Yeah,
And as a professional, like especially, I'm also a financial professional. Finances are important.
they are. Yeah,
And so it allows me, and I get to balance it all. I stopped thinking I can't have it all. I get to have it all. And as far as long as I've been juggling all my multiple hats, uh trusting I get to have it all allows me to continue. And when I feel like it's overwhelming, I do my meditations, and I get even clearer, or I go out there and just not be in action, because all this action causes some burnout if you don't know when to stop.
yeah, that's true.
And that's one thing I've learned over the many careers. And I have a tendency to go, 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 go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very conscious of when, all right, just stop, just be
Mm-hmm.
with people,
Right.
and then connect again to what really lights me up. And all the time, it's like you said, somebody will say something that this is, and then I go, this is really why I am doing what I'm doing. And I
Yeah,
don't have to generate it. I just have to be with it. The being with where we are versus all the action and all the I have to. And when I give myself those moments, I get uh I I get to fill my cup again.
sure. Now, has your definition for success changed? Because you've mentioned, every entrepreneur starts a business for profit. I mean, that's the reason why you get into business, right? So not only have you done a paradigm shift from profit to not for profit, but has that influence changed your definition for success?
Where I'm at right now, and I love this because I have conversations with my husband about this, because I said my time is so much spent in doing this. I sometimes worry about the profit part.
Mm-hmm.
And really, we keep it simple. It's like, was it what matters to you more, profit
Right.
or impact? And just choosing between those two is so easy, right? Impact.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then I go, all the profit comes after I make the impact anyway. If I
That's so
focus on
true.
the impact, I don't
Yeah.
have to chase profit.
Right. Well, and it also opens the doors, I think, to people to engage with your community through things like sponsorship or volunteerism or donations, or which is really the foundational elements of entrepreneurship to start with.
Yes.
Because even when we're entrepreneurs in the profit world, right? Who's the first person that they ask in the community for a donation for the, the library, or they want to build a new church, or they're looking, it's always donations, sponsorship, and all of those things come and mesh with the profit and not-for-profit world. So all you're going to do is really attract those people who will want to engage with your mission.
Absolutely. And where I have to come from is the same place I'm asking them to come from.
Exactly. Exactly. It's
And
funny how it's kind of gone full circle, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Because I think we forget sometimes that the nonprofit world has the same challenges that the for-profit world has. And if we can find a way to support each other from and bridge that gap between the profit or not for profit, the impact is going to increase and our community involvement will increase, and the communities that we live in will then thrive.
100%. High five, thrive.
So that was a beautiful segue into that, and that wasn't planned. So, talk about serendipity and just the conversation going where it should go. So are you finding that you're engaging with folks in the broader community? Because you mentioned, yes, you want to have impact in your local community, but you also want to have impact on the global community, because parenting is parenting, right?
Yeah.
There is no manual.
This is why it's a global conversation.
Right.
And which is what I love, because so to your point, a lot of the programs we do are virtual. So we have had participants from the islands, the Caribbean islands, Canada, US, and different parts. Even contributors to myMBA are from different countries now.
Sure. Sure.
And so it's a global conversation. It's relevance that impacts anyone, because anyone is part of a family.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
and so it's really allowing us to, what I'm excited about is technology is available to
Sure.
allow us to reach as many.
Right, right.
And
And I love the alignment between Share Your Stories online and myMBA and High Five Thrive, because what we're really doing is sharing stories for the empowerment and inspiration of others, right? Because we're trying to bring the globalization together to say, listen, our social impact is really what's most important, and it really doesn't matter what country we live in.
Mhm.
Right? The global message is the same. And the
100.
right? And the impact that we will have on our local communities is the same. Just think of the wonderful global impact when we start to make impact in the individual communities. All of that goodness is just going to continue to rise, right?
Absolutely, Trish. That's why what you're up to, it really is a parallel to,
What you're doing.
and it's really uplifting
Right.
and empowering. So, and if you look at collectively the people that you've interviewed, what they've been up to, if you bringing their stories out, it's like, wow, you're talking millions and millions of reach at this point.
Right. That's very true. And we've, I'm sure as your project continues to grow and your journey continues to expand, you'll find the same sort of energy that will come into your business from the people that in the communities that you serve. Because I can certainly say that the amazing people that I have met around the world and the wonderful things that people are doing in their communities, there is just so much positive momentum towards really great things that collectively, I think we are going to be making a difference.
Yeah. And imagine the information that you and I are, even when there's unworkability in the world, you can focus, there's some that we can focus on the things that work and really create the ripple effect from where we have,
right,
where we are.
And where we want to be, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me, the very first quote that I did in the Share Your Stories initiative was, be the person who starts a ripple that creates a wave of change. And I really think that what everyone is doing, I'm sure the stories that you share, the stories that I share, collectively, that's really everybody's underlying mission, even if it's not top of mind. It's the thing that happens when you least expect it, right? And those are the wonderful journeys that we're all on collectively from the global community that we represent. So thank you so much for doing all of the work that you do to try to help individuals just not feel so alone, and to have the tools and resources that they can pass on those nuggets of really great information to the next generation. That's really very important.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that we do in the guest blog is we ask folks to share 3 words of advice. So let's wrap up our conversation today by you sharing why your 3 words are important to you and the mission that you're taking to the world. And yours is build, share, and evolve.
Yes. So for viewers out there who have an idea, that is unique to you. Build it. Let's not get trapped in the, I don't know how, whether it's going to be fulfilled. Just build it. And don't stop there. Build and then share. Like every week, part of what really creates momentum is conversations. Share it with everybody. Why are you doing that? If anything, they will contribute to you. It's like, I'm confused, and then you can really learn from that. Or when you're so clear about what we're doing, when I'm clear about what I'm doing, I get support, because you will find people aligned out there.
Right.
And then evolve, like what I did with myMBA turning into High Five Thrive. myMBA is a component of the acknowledgement function of High Five Thrive. Evolve, because you don't have to limit yourself in the difference you want to make. It could be bigger. And evolve by listening and allowing contribution, because that is what will make a solo idea into an organization idea, and not just one person doing everything to fulfill a mission. So
that's so true. That's so true. Well, I want to really thank you for joining me today, because you've really given us so much to think about. And I really do love how your passion project morphed into something that is now a not-for-profit organization. We'll reconnect for sure, Leah. And, I want to see this book. I want to hear about the book. When you're ready to publish the book, you'll come back on to our podcast, and our viewing and listening audience will be able to reconnect with your mission and vision and be able to read some of those amazing stories. So thank you so much for taking the opportunity to share with us today.
Thank you, Trish. It was a pleasure. I always love having a conversation with you. Thank you for just blessing me with your positivity. First time we met, and it never feels like it's been so long, just because you have the ability to connect to people's hearts. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for using your gift that way.
Thank you. Thank you very much. To our viewing and listening audience, we're full of thank yous today. So thank you for joining us today for this edition of Keeping It Real, introducing you to the person behind the logo. If you'd like to connect with our guest, you're going to find Leah's contact information in the description portion below. I'm Trish Tonai, author, artist, and the founder and host for the series. And we invite you to share your business story. Just visit our website at shareyourstories.online and subscribe to our channel, Business Mentorship, Keeping It Real. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to meeting you next time when we share another great idea.